Well, what was it? Most entertaining series in Home Story Cup, something like that.
Yeah?
He won some kind of a prize at Home Story Cup.
Yeah, there was a cheese award at Home Story Cup, if I
That's
remember
what it
correctly.
was, right? The fastest victory, I think is what it
Yeah,
was.
something like that. I remember for Jimmy trying really hard to win that award, and I do believe that Fiant did win it in the end. So yeah, he's a great player in his own right. He is a Roddy boy, current Roddy boy, but was eliminated, has been knocked out. Now we have our own best of 5.
Indeed, we do. Here we are on Oceanborn. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Italia. We have been following his run throughout the evening. He's been doing a very good job in the TVTs, but we'll see how he fares here in a TvP. Currently a free agent, we have BabyMarine.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Hazard Esports. It is Power.
PPower.
Oh,
Which, of course, means Protoss power.
true. I thought you were gonna go the other way. The what is it? PP is the thing in Pokemon.
PP.
Right?
PP hour, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
The PP goes up.
It's excuse me.
When you give your Pokemon not ether, the
PP up.
the
Yeah,
thing.
that's what it's
Yeah,
called.
PP up.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, the PP up. Yeah.
Yeah. That's facts. That's Pokemon.
That's Pokemon.
There you go. Aye.
No PP in Pokemon Sleep, unfortunately.
How is Pokemon Sleep, by the way? I was getting like an ad for it the other day, and I was like, oh, that's what Yak was playing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm terrible at it because it awards you for going to bed at the same time every night, for sleeping, having a consistent sleep schedule, for just staying asleep for 8 hours, which are things that I'm not very good at. Fun right now. Yes.
Smurge. Can you like fake sleep just to like bump yourself up in it? Like, is that a thing?
Maybe. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure you can fake it.
Wait, so how does it work? So you said it measures your breathing? Question mark? Is that?
Yeah. So you put your phone like relatively close to you when you go to bed, and you leave the app on as well. I mean, your phone can go idle. Obviously it's gonna go idle and go into a black screen, but you turn on. You open the app and you say, I'm going to sleep now. And then you put your phone nearby and then you just go to sleep. And then when you wake up, it'll like give you a chart and be like, okay, so you slept for this long. When you were asleep, this is how long you've been in deep sleep, how long you've not been in deep sleep. Oh, it looks like you woke up a whole bunch of times because your neighbors decided to renovate their house. And they start at 7 a.m. and until 5 p.m.
Do you think that's why they started renovating? Do you think they heard that you started playing Pokemon Sleep and they actually play Pokemon Sleep themselves, and they're like, no, we can't let this kid catch them all, you know? Yeah, they're blocking.
That's what it is. They don't want me to get the Pokedex. Or to fill my Pokedex, look.
They're trying to stop you from becoming the Pokemon Master. That's a conspiracy. That's what's happening.
I need to look into that. Speaking of which, that wall was not a wall, as BabyMarine will be able to slip three Reapers in, and we'll be picking off quite a number of probes, way more probes, honestly, than is normal in a PvT.
This is almost borderline game-ending damage here, as the 8 workers go down at the same time the Hellions, they hit that natural base as well. Looks like things are going to be cleaned up, but we finally do deal with the Reapers and the Hellions, but that is 9 dead workers already.
I've seen mine drops kill fewer workers than this.
True.
This is oof.
And it wasn't just 9 workers. We get a full scout of the main base. That was a robo-based opener into a base. So it looks like we're rushing into Colossi. Meanwhile, how do we bounce back? This is a crazy maneuver out of Power. That's a second robo.
That is a second robo. Despite losing all of those workers, he is going to be doubling down, which I guess I can kind of understand the rationale behind this. You know, he knows that he's going to have to be a bit more defensive against BabyMarine, who is a bit more active on the map as a Terran player. ideally he's going to be working on his Colossus. The question is, can he afford double Colossus production right now?
That's the thing here. I mean, so robo-based openers in general are very defensive because they allow you to get fast Immortal production and fast Colossus production. The downside is no Blink, no Phoenixes, no Oracles. There's zero map presence for Power. He's stuck at home. So you can approach this in a couple of different ways. As a Terran player, you can be hyper greedy and just take a fast third base and take advantage of how passive your opponent is, or you can try to kill your opponent instead. And we're not going for a big head-on engagement, but we are crippling the economy.
Yeah, 4 more probes go down. Power and BabyMarine on even worker counts, which will generally favor the Terran. Mules, man, they're pretty good.
Mules are pretty good here. Looking at the vision of BabyMarine, likewise, he has spotted the second robo. He's aware we're getting into double Colossus production. This is wild, rushing into as many Colossus as possible here from Power. BabyMarine, how do we respond to this? For now, we're just getting into our 3-1-1 setup. No third CC yet.
None just yet, which worries me a little bit here. Power is definitely cutting corners to be able to maintain his Colossus production, but because of that, he's also going to be set. He's going to be pretty set when it comes to his defenses. Maybe even with Interference Matrix on Ravens, Power should have a spare Colossus here and there. Without a gateway buffer, I can definitely see BabyMarine simming forward and picking off the Colossus, but I'm not good at math, like, I want to say maybe the battery overcharge can make up for it, but yeah, it looks like BabyMarine has made his decision. He has seen the nonsense that is being produced in front of him, and he's decided to put a stop to it.
Yeah, exactly, as he's just doubling down on just Bio on the Marine, a Marauder, Tank, Medevac here. He's building up a force. Now we have a third CC on the way here for BabyMarine, but this army is looking quite hefty here, and we'll see what we can get done. Ideally, you want to delay or deny the third base, but at the same time, that's still going to be a lot of Colossi. We already have 3.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do. That's not quite going to be enough to one-shot, but that's still a very potent amount of volleys on these Marines in particular. Thermalant's about to finish up in about 15-ish seconds as well, so he's going to have that going for him. It does mean that the tanks might not be as effective, but BabyMarine still has a much higher army supply. He still has Interference Matrix, which can take these which can turn these 3 Colossus into only 1 Colossus. And once again, there's just not much of a buffer here for Power. Yeah, and he's got sentries for Force Field.
I mean, Force Fields are going to be king here. Like, they're going to be very key for the defense from Power. Can he slice up the army? Can he slow it down as the tanks? They are getting within range here of the third base. Oh.
No reaction as of yet. Oh, that's a huge tank volley. Going to be landing on top of all of those Colossus. One of them already almost dead. BabyMarine actually goes for the anti-armor missile, which you gotta respect, but might not be the most effective spell to utilize right now.
Yeah, fun fact, BabyMarine, he actually did not research Interference Matrix because of that. He cannot break through this. I wonder if that was a bit of an oversight here, as the first tank is going to be going down, second tank as well.
I take full responsibility for that, BabyMarine. We were reminiscing about the good old days when we didn't have to research Interference Matrix, and I mean, that's got to be an oversight. There's no reason not to research it when you're going for a Raven like this.
Yeah, it's so common to invest when you open up Raven into Interference Matrix, and that would have been a key moment to make use of it to actually get within range. Just like that, BabyMarine, he gets forced back. A Power, he is clawing his way back into this. A double robo follow-up, it's paying off.
It has absolutely paid off, yeah. He's cut a lot of corners to get to this position, but because he hasn't died, he can finally afford to cover those corners. He can finally afford to renovate,
Yeah.
It's like when you build your starter home and you have like a room somewhere that you're like, okay, I can't furnish it yet. I can't put anything in it yet. But I just gotta live, and then eventually I can.
Yeah, Power has been drilling at 7 a.m. every single morning, and now he has himself a home. And what's scary here is that obviously Power was stuck at home because he couldn't really be active. He couldn't chase down any kind of drops or anything. But now Blink is finishing. Blink is finishing up. Templar Archives is on the way for some Archon production, for potentially Storm as well to diversify the splash damage. Immortals are on the way. Power, he's just really rounding out his army, getting into a good position. BabyMarine likewise is taking up as well, true, but doesn't have as substantial of a lead as he once did. It does have a lead, but again, it isn't as clear-cut as it once was.
Yeah, this entire build that BabyMarine went for, the minute he scouted those double robos, was designed to at least kill a base. At the very least kill the third base of the third nexus of power. The fact that he wasn't able to do that means that not only are we evening up, but that it's also going to be more difficult for him to push from here on out, because it's like you said, Power's rounded off the rest of his army. He's getting Blink, he's getting his gateway units, he's getting High Templar. Doesn't have Storm just yet, but look at that, he's already got Archons.
Yeah, he's got Archons. Disruptors are going to be on the way. That's going to be a huge moment for Power. As Army moves out, as Zealot Rabbi moves in, we don't get too many SCV kills, but we deny so much mining here at the third base, and we force BabyMarine to turn around and come back home.
Just like so. He's doing whatever he can to try to establish a bit of a lead here. I like this from Power. He went with the run by in the third base and then went in with the Warp Prism in the main base as well.
Yeah, and exactly. And again, he's not really doing too much damage, but he's just buying time for himself. Now he's got his Nexus on the way. More cannons and shield batteries are amassing as well. Disruptors, they have finally arrived. 2 Disruptors for the time being. There's 2 Novas available here for Power.
She said, yeah. For a second there, it took my brain a quick second there to recognize that you meant for Power, as in, you know, Power has 2 Novas. I was thinking of it, yes, he has 2 Novas. It's Power. He has the power.
Oh, God. No, these player names, shaking my head as we go. Big anti-armor missile here in the army. Nova's going to be going off, and they do not connect.
Yeah, they zoned away the Bio Army for a second, but wasn't able to get much beyond that. Vikings definitely putting in a ton of work. Colossus going to survive just at the nick of time, thanks to that shield battery, but this 4th base will be cancelled? Yep, cancelled.
Yeah, big cancel on the 4th base. We do see BabyMarine in position to deny the 4th base towards the south, but it is going to be turned down. At the same time, Power pushing in. This time the Novas, they will connect with the tanks.
Yeah, a little bit of a panic siege coming down here from BabyMarine. He was caught with his pants down, and as a result, most of his tanks went down with his pants. Four of them.
You say most. It looks like we're going to be able to pick off the final tanks here. 1 tank is saved by the Medivacs. We can chase back the Vikings. Power does hold BabyMarine. He is maxing out, though. He's at that 200 supply. But what kind of army are we working with here? Ghost production just now beginning. Liberators are on the way. This is going to be ideal for BabyMarine, but he needs a little bit more time to really refine his army.
Yeah, indeed he does. But he is maxed out, so he can definitely still try to get something done. He can definitely try to, still harass, trade some of his units, get a little bit of a efficient trade, taking out a high-tech unit of power like these Colossus, or this Colossus. He only has 1 remaining, or, a Nova or 2. I think Power so far has really shown the strengths of this unit composition, specifically the defensive strengths of this unit comp.
He definitely has, but BabyMarine is looking for a way in, looking for a weak point in the armor. Liberation zones have arrived. We have freedom, and with that, we just try to power our way through.
Yeah, a couple of Novas will be connecting on a decent chunk of the bio, but BabyMarine was so far ahead when it came to the army count that 1 or 2 Novas wasn't quite going to cut it. GG is called. BabyMarine will be taking game number 1 of this best of 5 qualifying match, but you gotta give it to Power. He had a pretty disastrous start, all things considered, and was still able to hold twice against a player who was gunning to end the game, or at least end his economy then and there.
Exactly. It was very impressive that Power was able to survive and weather the storm. Again, BabyMarine, he had a very nice lead for himself. It wasn't the cleanest of games when it came to the follow-up, but regardless, he was able to maintain himself, maintain his position, and get a win here in Game 1. But that wasn't the most easiest of games there. Again, a lot of it was riding on the back of the economic damage that BabyMarine had dealt. If Power can tighten things up here, then we can get a back and forth in this series.
Indeed, we shall. Just imagine that game that we just saw, except, you know, the wall was wall. 3 Reapers and get into the main base and kill 9 probes.
That was just such a brutal start, right? Like 9 dead workers from the get-go. I am hoping that we can make sure that is not replicated here in game number 2 onwards. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Italian Terran player leading the series 1-0. It is BabyMarine.
And over here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left, we have our blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Russia. He is of course going to be representing Hazard Esports. We have Power.
You have the power.
He has the PPower. Yeah.
Let's go.
He's got the touch.
An hour?
He's got the... Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he's got the power hour.
There you go. There you go. I kind of like power as an ID, not gonna lie. Like, I don't know, it's not really a word that we use too often in the cast. Every now and then, sure, but it's not as bad as time, for example. Like time, that was a hard one.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad that Paynon has come to his senses and is now going by Oliveira.
Yeah. Picked up some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Picked up a world championship as well.
True. Pick it up.
Yeah, you would think that power is something that we would use more often, but I think the closest thing that I guess I specifically use is I say powerful.
Yeah.
I don't say there's a lot of power in this army. I say there's a lot of firepower.
Mm. Yeah, that's firepower is definitely a phrase that we say a lot more often. True.
Yeah. I guess the closest thing, or the most often that we do use power, is when we say things like, when we refer specifically to a certain unit, right? When we say there's a lot of power in these Novas, or there's a lot of power in the Ghosts, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe we'll try and pay closer attention to that here, and I wonder if we're even saying the name correctly. I wonder if Power even calls himself like PPower as well. Yeah.
Actually, his name on the bracket is PPower, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is PPower.
Maybe that's...
Or PPower.
Oh, PPower. Ah, I like it. Let's go.
Until further notice, we're just gonna go with Power, because it helps our pop filters if we don't say P that much.
It does. True.
In quick succession like that, yeah.
As Power, this game is not going to be going for another Robo Opener. We are going to be getting into a Twilight Council instead. Blink is on the way, so something a little more standard in Game 2 here for our Protoss player.
Yeah, something a lot more standard, something a lot more versatile than Double Robo. And when you're going for Double Robo, Colossus especially, you are sacrificing map presence solely to have a strong defensive backline. Whereas when you're going for Blink like this, you can play defensively, but it also leaves your options open. You can definitely be a lot more active on the map with Blink, even if you are playing defensive.
You definitely can. We'll keep an eye on how many gateways get thrown down. We have 1 gateway in the main base. We have 1 gateway on the way here at the natural, so 2 gate for the time being. It could just be 2 gate Blink. Talking a little bit about the map itself, though, we're loading into Ghost River, and this map has the shortest rush distance by map in the map pool. Very aggressive map in general here. Last time we casted this map was earlier today in the Asia Qualifier, where Oreo went for an all-in, which didn't quite work out for him. But again, it's kind of what you want to be going for here, as additional gateways are on the way.
Yeah, I love Ghost River. It has a similar-ish layout to Equilibrium, but it's nowhere near as massive, so...
Yeah, it's not as massive. No gold base either, thankfully. No gold.
Is that a... Yeah, I guess that is a thankfully. I think it got a little too played out towards the end there on Equilibrium.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool. But we have been seeing a lot more Ghost River, thankfully.
Yeah. It was the only map I vetoed in the past 6 years at this point. It's been 6 years, jeez.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, look, some of these maps have been interesting, and even these new maps as well. We can get into them once we do load in. But for now, we do have a mine drop making its way towards the main base. A forge is done. We do have Blink, and we do dive on top of those winter mines. Up.
Yeah, quick response. 2 probes will still be going down, as BabyMarine doesn't quite get a full scout in these bases. I mean, he has his eyes on the main base. He does get a little bit of damage, but yeah, doesn't get full confirmation of what the tech is going to be.
It doesn't get confirmation. Meanwhile, moving out here with his first push, tank has arrived. Bunker on the way as well. He wants the third base. He wants to try to shut it down here and now.
And he knows he can. Power's going to be utilizing the power of Blink as much as he can to try to outrange these Marines, to try to pick them off before blinking away, not taking too many tank volleys. I'm loving the positioning of the second tank that BabyMarine has here. It's going to be so difficult for Power to try to dive on top of.
Yeah, is going to try and dive on top of here. Shield Battery buying a little bit of time. You have Zelts coming in from the right-hand side. We're trying to set up for a surround here as well. There are 2 tanks. There is that SCV, though. We are just barely repairing that tank, keeping it alive. Oh.
Yeah, Power blinks on forward, and he will be able to take out 1 tank, but the bunker is doing a really good job. The SCV repair as well was doing a good job of keeping the second tank alive. Power loses a lot of probes while this is going on. He loses a lot of his army supply as well, but the tanks have been dealt with. That was the back line, that was the backbone of BabyMarine's army, but it doesn't stop there. This is the shortest rush distance map in the current map pool, and BabyMarine is making full use of it already. Sieges up a second tank.
Yeah, this aggressive build, this aggressive push is only possible here on a Ghost River. We dive on top of the tank. Good blink here. Tank is going to be going down. The bunker still holding strong here. We're running out of Stalkers. We only have a couple left, but BabyMarine is running out of steam.
Indeed, he is. There aren't any SCVs here to repair, so eventually BabyMarine's going to lose that. Going to lose that bunker. Power going to be able to keep his third Nexus alive as well, which was really the win condition here for Power. Or I guess not necessarily the win condition, but if he lost it, he would have pretty much lost the game entirely.
I mean,
his main objective was to just keep that alive.
Yeah, and looking at the resources lost, that was what? 3 tanks, 18 Marines, a Liberator as well, a Medevac. I mean, the Medevac was with the mine drop, but we committed so much and we did not kill the third. Not just that, we barely killed the workers here as well. There were some dead probes earlier, sure, but again, Power, he's able to maintain his economic lead.
Indeed he is. He's going to take full advantage of that by grabbing a 4th base. BabyMarine is back to the drawing board with a much less sophisticated army compared to the previous game. You know, he doesn't have any Ravens. He is transitioning out of tanks into Widow Mines. But yeah, it's going to take a while before he really gets to that end game unit composition you want in a TvP, or not even an end game composition, but you know, a very solid mid game composition.
Exactly, we're working on it, we're getting there as Widowmines are going to be burrowing. We do see BabyMarine threatening a dive towards the third, rotating around. We are going to get punished for it as we try to pick off one of those Marauders. Power doesn't quite lose anything yet, but there are no shield batteries here at the 4th. Yeah,
it's looking very vulnerable. Widowmines take a little while to burrow. Nice split by Power, does force the unburrow. Nice split once again, but yeah, Power essentially out of Zealots at this point. BabyMarine still has reinforcements back home. He can make use of them.
Yeah, they are on the way. We are reinforcing here, and again, it doesn't take too long at all to try to apply pressure, try to keep on breaking through. Meanwhile, Power is going to be getting into that Colossi. Decent force fields do catch some of those Marines.
Yeah, splits the army in complete half. The reinforcements arrive, but they aren't actually able to provide BabyMarine with an advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, we're going to be able to release Power. Is trying to hold on to his 3rd and his 4th as he's as he's here on the front lines. We're going for a June drop here towards the natural base. Plenty of Stalkers in position though.
Yeah, one of these medevacs will go down. There are plenty of Marauders that can try to fight this, while BabyMarine tries to go for a bit of a multi-prong. BabyMarine gonna lift, evacuate, but that fourth base is gonna hold. We have 2 Colossus now.
Yeah, we have 2 Colossi, one in either base here, and Power, he is barely holding on by the skin of his teeth, and with that, he has his 4 base setup, but he's still playing catch-up. He's still trying to build up that Colossus count. Meanwhile, across the map, BabyMarine building up his army, Ghost production underway, Viking production underway as well. BabyMarine, he wants to be in the face of Power, doesn't want to let him breathe.
You gotta say this with BabyMarine. He might not have as strong of an economy as Power has. I say that, but he is actually mining a bit more when it comes to minerals, sexy mules. But yeah, he may be down a base. He may not have as strong of an economy, but he doesn't need to really have that powerful of an economy. He is making Marine, Marauder, Medevac mine. And that's not a particularly expensive unit composition either. Now he's getting a couple of ghosts, but again, he doesn't need that many ghosts.
Yeah, exactly. The EMPs just need to be on point. Even with a handful of ghosts, they can just work wonders here in the army. Now we do see BabyMarine taking his own 4th base, expanding and working on his 5th CC as well thereafter. And BabyMarine, he is just running away with this with a better economy, with a larger army. Power does have those 3 Colossi, has potential with this army, but we need more than that. We need disruptors, we need storm, we need that complexity that this army is lacking.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We need something that can turn that potential in this army into, results.
And we'll see what kind of results we can get. Meanwhile, Rocks are being knocked down. We spoke about the defender's advantage, or we didn't quite touch on it too much, but there are a lot of ramps. That's the power here, or that's the plus side of Ghost River.
There we go.
Defensive. I said it. It happened.
You got the counter, yeah.
The power
of
Ghost River, of your defensive position, is these ramps. A lot of choke points here are available, and it's quite difficult to actually force your way up here if you are in position.
Yeah, that's why, from what little I've been able to watch on Ghost River, that's why we have seen a lot more drop play, a lot more run-bys, a lot more, moves that are attempts to try to disrupt the positioning of the defensive player.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Speaking of positioning, yeah, it looked like BabyMarine might have been able to get the high ground here, but Power wasn't too far away, was able to react.
And was able to react in time. We do see BabyMarine, he gets eyes on the would-be 5th base. Big EMPs here on these Stalkers, does snipe the Prism as well, but the Colossi are going to be forcing this army back. With that War Prism, that means the Power cannot push out. He's going to be stuck at home, stuck trying to defend these fringe bases.
Oh. That Marine died, but it prevented a massive warp-in. That was... wow.
Yeah, not a bad pickoff there from BabyMarine. He does disrupt some of the reinforcements here of his opponent. Meanwhile, he's taking his center bases. We're cutting the map in half. We're going for a longer game. As I say that, the Big Zell run by. Can we deny the Ghost Academy? Can we deny Cloak?
I mean, he's got to, right? Right? Well, in the middle of the map, BabyMarine trying to go for a little bit of a concave. A couple of units do get taken out by the Purification Nova. Decent TMP right at the end there on the Stalkers, but the Force Fields are going to be able to keep BabyMarine at bay. The Ghost Academy goes down, and Engineering Bay goes down as well. I believe +3 armor got denied. Yeah, +3 armor got denied. +3 infantry weapons, however, will not get denied. Will not get denied. Mule? Mule?
No! Oh, phew. Okay, we go. We go for the repair in the end. The eBay is going to survive here. We're going to be able to finish up at least some of these upgrades. As Power, he has a remax. Looking quickly at the army here, we have 5 disruptors with this army. Novas are a bit premature. We have 5 disruptors with 2 Novas and now on cooldown.
Yeah. Definitely don't want to be wasting your ammo before the fight begins.
Is that a quote from Sun Tzu?
Power.
Is that...
I think so. I'm assuming the original quote was from Sun Tzu. I first heard it in a Counter-Strike lobby.
Oh, there you go. There you go, as we do have a mass amount of liberation zones. The freedom is here, 9 liberators out for BabyMarine, and we're going to be able to bully that Protoss army back. That's why we have to give the edge here to the quality, to the composition of BabyMarine, as we are going to be committing.
Ooh. These ramps, however, they are quite narrow. One Purification Nova is able to connect with a decent chunk of the bio, but not anywhere near enough. The ghosts are alive for one. And BabyMarine, he still has a very strong economy. He still has a very that doesn't work, powerful economy. And so you can pretty easily replace them.
Yeah, and again, as long as they will siege up in time, and there we go, liberation zones, they will be able to set up, forcing back the army. Vikings doing him as well, we get a disruptor.
And not too many disruptors left here in the army of power. Only one of them has a Nova ready right now.
Yeah, and you can see BabyMarine just slowly leapfrogging forward here with his liberation and bullying back the army. How do we deal with this? Well, a massive amount of stalkers. We could see a Skytoss transition, but Power doesn't really have the economy to sustain that right now. He's still stuck with a ground army instead, and is relying on mass stalker.
I'm surprised at how little of a gas bank Power has right now. But I guess it just goes to show how expensive Colossus and Stalkers are. How gas intensive they are.
Exactly, as he's still just trying to get into more gas income, trying to sustain himself. Army is just sharking around. We do pick up a couple of Marauders. Not a bad catch here out of Power. This time getting these Liberators on siege.
Huge EMPs right in the middle of this choke point. BabyMarine fighting with a really strong CranKy. Very good split against the Purification Novas. Gonna be able to snipe a massive chunk of those Disruptors. Only 2 of them are left.
Yeah, only 2 Disruptors do remain. At the same time, Liberation Harass is going to get 3 probe kills here towards the south. More Liberators going to be on the way. Power trying to look for a fight here, but he doesn't have a lot of Disruptors, not anymore, to work with.
And it's just, this is why he doesn't have any gas. Power is on quadruple robo production. That's why he's not transitioning to Skytoss.
The mass river production is underway. The army is going to be clashing here again. We're just heavily relying here on these Disruptors. Nova's going to be going up, but we are able to pull back. Liberation is here, and once again, we force Power to back off.
But now, meanwhile, Power sending a little bit of a run by here into the Planetary Fortress, but there are enough SCVs to repair. And the Zealots will get dealt with.
Yeah, they are going to be going down. Meanwhile, at the same time, big connection here with the EMP. Nova's going to be going off. We do graze the army. But BabyMarine, he wants to keep on pushing. Another Marauder goes down. So far, decent connections with these Disruptors.
Yeah, decent. Making sure that BabyMarine pretty much loses as many barracks units as Power loses Stalkers. But all in all, I feel like all of these trades are going to go in favor of, or at the very least, are going to hurt Power a lot more than they hurt BabyMarine.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see Power just sharking around, gets a Liberator, gets a Ghost as well. Pretty good pickoffs here so far from Power. Meanwhile, BabyMarine just consulting his army, bringing everything together as well. Another base on the way here. Power, he has been he's going to be expanding behind this.
Yeah, I kind of thought all the bases were taken in this game, but not quite yet. Power will have that little fresh base advantage as the game continues. BabyMarine has a massive bank right now. Oh, and he's making use of it. There aren't a lot of Novas. There aren't a lot of Novas. They do get sent forward, and a couple of them connect, but nowhere near enough, if you ask me. BabyMarine, there's nothing holding him back anymore. He can just stim on forward, take out these Disruptors, go toe-to-toe against these Stalkers as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of Disruptors going to be going down here. A big overextension from Power. Does have on top of the Liberator. A lot of these Liberation zones that have been dealt with these reinforcing Zealots. Power is going to keep on pushing. Does he have enough to break one of the bases of BabyMarine? He's going for it.
He is. This is an orbital command. There is a bunker, but with only 2 Marines inside of it. Power now going to look to hurt the economy of BabyMarine as much as he can. I mean, not exactly a fresh base that he's taking out, but still, any damage he can get at this point is good damage.
Yeah, exactly. He's looking for another base. He does take down the third. At the same time, Army going to be stimming on forward. But BabyMarine, he is a little bit overstimmed.
Yeah, these medevacs have such little energy. Ooh, that's a huge Nova. That's a good Nova as well. And over time, these start to stack up. I thought he was a madman for going for quadruple disruptor production, but it's the one thing keeping him in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of working, not gonna lie, and we need more liberation zones to deal with this. We need more liberators. Woo! Another disruptor going to be going down. Nova's going to be going off. They do not connect, not this time. And Power running out of steam a little bit here. He needs a moment himself, or to try to catch up, to try to build back up as well.
That he really does. A little unfortunate with the pathing there. Did expose some of his army, and BabyMarine was able to take advantage of that. You can see that BabyMarine has no problems remaxing, whereas Power still struggling a little bit. Liberator is being taken out by the Stalkers. Good splits coming out from BabyMarine. A couple of ghosts here and there will go down, but it looks like ooh. Purification Novas will not get the super juicy connections that they really need right now.
Not quite. Meanwhile, across the map, Nuke here in the center base. Nova's going to be zoning away the army. No reaction. Power he doesn't see. No.
And he's going to lose pretty much the entirety of his economy. I'm pretty sure that was the one mining base remaining here for Protoss.
That's 27 probes going to be going down. Big nuke here from BabyMarine. Can he survive? Can he hold on? As Power, he's pretty committed. He's pretty all in. Glibs.
Yeah, he's got to be right now. The Liberators are being taken off one by one, but not before they are able to take out a lot of these disruptors, honestly.
Yeah, that was half the disruptor count going down.
Yeah, half the disruptors going down, and that's still a very hefty ground army that BabyMarine has. Getting a little bit of a PP pause. Or a P pause.
A PPP power pause here from our Protoss player, as he does need a little bit of time here. Looks like maybe something has come up. Now is a very, very dire situation, though, where Power, his economy is not as large as it once was. He's down to 53 workers. He just took a big blow to his own army supply as well, which is why you can see he's down in economy, down in army. BabyMarine has momentum, but if Power is given time, then Power can rebuild and remax.
Yeah, that's a very big if, though. Very, very big if. I mean, he is behind when it comes to the worker count right now, but at this point, when we've mined out pretty much half of the map, does it really matter that much? So long as you're able to saturate the few remaining fresh bases, then yeah, I think Power can have a chance to bounce back here, can have a chance to rebuild his army. He had a Templar Archives. No, I guess he didn't. He's only now throwing it down. I just spotted it on the production tab, and I was like, oh, I guess BabyMarine was able to snipe it, but no, he just wasn't going for it.
Yeah, just wasn't going for it here, and I mean, because of that, it's just so far away to get into Storm or get into Archon production. Like that Templar Archives is just a mile away here. And we'll see if BabyMarine is going to try and press the issue here, or if he does back off. Even if he did back off, I do think that he still can recover and he still can maintain himself. Really, our eyes are on Power to see how he does bounce back.
Indeed. And it looks like whatever issue he's had has been resolved.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting
for confirmation.
Yeah, for BabyMarine.
Yeah. Indeed, we are. Go, go, says BabyMarine. And we're back.
And the army's going to be racing back home. There's a ghost here in that center base. It is going to be cleaned up. It is going to be denied, as we are just going to be stuck at home here, just building on up. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, he's going to be able to remax. Like, he's not too far away from maxing out once again.
That he really isn't, and he has more than enough production. He has more than enough of a bank to get back up and running, to remax, as he said. And not quite remax with the loss of that ghost. Nice little bit of kiting there. Nice. Against the Purification Nova.
Yeah, nice little bit. Looks like one of those disruptors is going to be going down. Looking at the units tab here, we are still on 6 disruptors in total. That's quite a lot of firepower here for Power. We'll see if he can push up this ramp. Liberation Zone is not quite set up.
Yeah, and it might take a little bit too much time to set them up. It's got him on the ramp. Good splitting again by BabyMarine. I guess the supply and the production tab really tells you all you need to know about the situation right now. BabyMarine almost max, still able to produce units. Power not quite max, pretty far away from getting max, but even still not able to produce much of anything. Disruptors go down, huge nuke lands on a fresh base of power once again. He's all in, but I don't think he has much. I don't think he has much remaining in him as he gets sandwiched by reinforcements. Colossus goes down, and the rest of the army follows suit.
Yeah, exactly. We lost that Colossus. We lost our disruptors. We're down to a handful of stalkers. The economy is in shambles. Nukes have been connecting, and power, he's just falling apart at this point. He's being pulled apart at the seams here. The army is falling. We're down to 1 stalker, down to 0 stalkers.
Warping in 8 High Templar, morphing them all into Archons right now, but it's way too little, way too late. BabyMarine is max power. That's 60 total supply out of 200.
Yeah, and I mean, as you're mentioning, like, Archons, they aren't the worst thing out there, but unfortunately, they're on their own. They can get EMP. They can be picked apart here by BabyMarine.
Yeah, I mean, they're dealing with the stacked up Liberators, but then what about the ground army? Is the question being posed. GG is called. BabyMarine takes a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Will be one map away from qualifying to the close qualifiers.
One more map is all the BabyMarine needs, and meanwhile, Power needs to win this game moving forward here to have a chance to force the ace match to be able to have a deeper run in EPT Spring.
Yeah, otherwise he's gonna have to get his own ticket to Dallas this time, right?
I believe so.
Get his own ticket to Dallas. Try to get something done in the open qualifiers in the open bracket, which is going to be even tougher this time because that's also Cyril's plan.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be difficult to overcome that, and you want to get that that kind of qualification spot. You want to make it in towards that close qualifier. They're so close here, yet so far the pressure is on Power.
Indeed. But can he power back? Can he power through? Can he PPower?
Excuse me. We'll see what he can bring to the table here as we are all filing into game number 3. Game 3 going to be on Alcyon, and once again, one of the older maps.
Yeah. Map that we have become very, very acquainted to in the previous season.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll see how this all does come together here. Just making sure that we have all the correct casters, just making sure that no one has slipped in. As we do have sometimes a couple of people just trying to slip into a game and just trying to watch things themselves. Unfortunately, ESL do not allow for that, so again, if you want to bear witness to some of these matches, tune into some of the streams.
I have some of the streams. Eventually, I believe the replays also get released by ESL. And it's not always bad intentioned when random people jump into the lobby, but due to experiences in the past, ESL cannot afford to be complacent about that, to take any chances.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about making sure that the integrity here of the game, of the series, is kept intact as we're getting to potentially the final game of this qualifying match.
Potentially, but hopefully not. Here we are on El Gione, over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Italia. He's currently a free agent, as well as the little brother of Rainer. We have one map away from qualifying to the closed qualifiers, the CQs. It's got to be another way. There's got to be a synonym that we can use. Locking in his spot for the closed qualifiers is what I'm going to go with. We have BabyMarine
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. The pressure is on. He's down in this series 2-0. Yeah, he needs to fight back here and now to extend the series, to have a chance at that ace match representing Hazard Esports. It is Power.
Already kind of defying a lot of expectations, getting to this qualifying match. See if he can keep this going. He is one map away from elimination.
Exactly, and I want to believe that he can bounce back here, as we do have a double gas opener out of BabyMarine, so it's going to be a faster factory. Of course, Power does confirm this. Meanwhile, what's interesting here is that we're skipping the first unit. It's going to be racks right into the reactor.
Interesting. A factory expand as well coming out from BabyMarine. This is not very common in TvP.
Yeah, so it looks like this more aggressive build is going to be potentially Reactor to Reaper Hellion. So a little bit more of an aggressive build. And there it is. Yeah, Reapers are on the way. Hellion's going to be coming out thereafter. And the scary thing about this build is that if we are unable to determine what's going on, if we don't get eyes on, or if we don't wall off, then we can go straight into a mineral line and we can go for a dive.
Yeah, and as we saw in game number 1, those can be disastrous.
Yeah, they really can be. Even if you wall off the Reaper Cliff, we can just head straight for the natural instead. There is a little bit of potential for damage here as Hellion production has commenced.
Hellion production has commenced. BabyMarine is not stopping. He's got his foot on the Reaper pedal, and he is not letting up whatsoever. He is rallying them across the map, as Power is going to look to respond to this by opening up with a Stargate. So very different from the last 2 games we've seen from him.
Yeah, so Stargate openers can defend against this as Reapers, they head in towards the main base. This time a full wall off here at the Reaper Cliff, so the Reapers are going to eventually be forced out. But as you did mention, this is going to be Stargate into Oracle production. With that, the Oracle ideally is going to be moving out across the map, or it should be moving out across the map, which means we have that much less to defend back at home.
Yeah, that would be ideal here for BabyMarine, as he himself actually only going for a single Hellion this time. Wait, single Hellion? No, double Hellion. It's quadruple Reapers that threw me off, but yeah, he will be getting a Cyclone back home to defend. Shield battery comes up right at the end here, but not before 2 probes and an Adept go down.
Yeah, but that could have been so much worse. The Oracle has a right. It's going to be chasing down these Reapers. 1 Reaper goes down, and Power, he has defended again. He could have lost so much more. This could have been so much worse. Alas, instead, we have a back and forth. We have a game.
Yeah. A game, but see how long of a game it's going to be. Cyclone does pop out, does damage the Oracle quite a lot. It's a bit of significant hull damage, and of course using up its energy to pulsar down those Reapers does mean that it can't go across the map to really harass anything. Power now switching fully into Phoenixes, which is going to be a lot more solid when it comes to the defense.
Oh yeah, definitely. With the Phoenix production, we can of course CC some of these units. We can shut them down, as well as chase down some of these medevac drops as well. We can see here that being the case as we do get on top of the Cyclone.
Yeah, there are enough Stalkers. The Reaper killed the pylon.
Oh my god, the Reaper does kill the pylon. We get into the middle line. Probes are going down.
Yeah, Power just a little bit too distracted in that main army engagement. BabyMarine able to take out that pylon, cause a massive supply block, shut down 1 gateway, which I guess isn't the most impactful thing at this point, but even so, still able to go into that mineral line, still able to, no, actually I misread that. I was going to say still able to go into the mineral line, kill 6 probes, because, you know, that's just a logical thing that would happen, right? But it's actually BabyMarine that's been losing workers.
Yeah, he has been losing some of those SCVs, but here we go. The drop does threaten the main base. Is going to be pulling back. 3rd base has been taken here by Power. BabyMarine consolidating his army. I don't think he has enough to really break the 3rd, but he's still rallying across the map. He desperately wants to try to do something here at this 3rd base and force a cancel.
Yeah, I mean, he's delaying his own 3rd base by a lot. He is working on a pretty aggressive build. As I say that, he throws down his start CC immediately. Liberator will get dealt with. Thanks to those Phoenixes.
Yeah, and we do see the main army being bullied all the way back here to BabyMarine's half of the map. And yeah, he's gonna have to try to lick his wounds to get into a longer game. Power looking solid here for the first time in quite some time in game number 3.
Yeah, looking pretty powerful.
True.
I do say so myself. As he that's the other context we say to word power with pylons, as he repowers his production.
There you go.
It's shocking how few times the warp power is used in the context of a StarCraft 2 match.
True.
But regardless, yeah, BabyMarine's still going to be going back home, going to be licking his wounds and getting ready for Plan B, or for round 2, or for the second push is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah. And again, I'm a little bit concerned here for BabyMarine just because he's been investing so much into this aggression and it just hasn't fully paid off yet. Because of that, he's going to be falling a little bit behind. He's still trying to keep up. Third base is soon going to be taken, and from here we can stabilize. Again, we're loading into, or we are playing on Alcyone, one of the larger maps in the map pool. I think actually now the largest map in the map pool now that Radisson Station and Equilibrium are gone. So yeah, this can actually settle into a longer game even if BabyMarine is unable to break the third.
I never thought we'd see the day in which Alcyone is considered a large map. But yeah, here we are. It is potentially the largest map in the current map pool.
Yeah, we're going to have to measure some of the other maps, but a lot of them are smaller actually instead. Meanwhile, as we settle into this, as we have a little bit of downtime, a big shout out to Rodin18 in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing. Drop is coming in towards the natural base to go for the mine drop, and it looks like we will not be able to burrow.
Both of them do get picked up. Very important for Power here to have had this this observer following this army for so long.
Was able to follow, was able to get eyes on that, and as a result, BabyMarine is going to be forced back, and once again, any kind of aggression is deflected.
Like so, he is going to try to stabilize now. He's landed his third orbital, and he's getting his upgrades. Stim finished up a while ago, as did combat shields and +1 weapons, but it's still going to take a lot more than that to try to break Power right now, who has 3 Colossus, Thermal Lance, and a whole bunch of Zealots.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of Zealots available here for Power, almost as many Zealots as there are Marines, and this move out is going to hit like a truck. BabyMarine, he needs a miracle here to hold on. I mean, he has a lot of Widow Mines, the positioning is looking pretty good, bunkers are on the way, he does have the high ground, but we need a good EMP. We need some solid ghost control here out of BabyMarine, as he is still producing them, still has them on the way.
Yeah, not here just yet. But when they spawn, they will have enough energy for at least 1 EMP. I'm really digging this positioning here on the Widow Mines. Unfortunately for BabyMarine, there is an observer out on the map, so there we go, it gets dealt with.
The observer does get sniped. We do dive in from the right hand side and towards the left as well. Good EMP here on some of these Archons. Mine shot's going to be going over the Colossi. They're wreaking havoc here on the army, and it looks like Power is breaking through.
That he is. SCVs are being pulled, but it is not going to be enough. They just melt to the combination of Archons and Colossus. A lot of the gateway units have been dealt with, but the backbone of this Protoss army is still strong. GG is called. PPower, he'll be taking his first game here against BabyMarine, giving us a bit of a longer series.
GG, well played. Power, he takes his first step here in this series, and he is beginning his comeback. Again, we did see a much more standard opener here out of Power. BabyMarine was trying to be aggressive, was trying to be assertive, but he was shut down before he could really get too much damage, too much value done, and yeah, just really well played there, really solid defense from Power.
Yeah, time after time. I mean, his defense has been looking really great throughout this entire series. Even in the first 2 games, which he did eventually lose, he's consistently been able to push BabyMarine back. He has been able to defend really well. This game number 3 that we just saw was BabyMarine, I think, playing to power strengths in that regard by going hyper aggressive right off the bat. So yeah, that definitely helped out a ton here for power, and I have to imagine BabyMarine won't try to do something as you know, aggressive, or there's a less charitable word that I'm trying to think up of right now, Light, but it's not coming to me. You know, not as ape-like, I guess.
Yeah, not as assertive, you know, not as or just, you know, calming things down a little bit here, respecting his opponents. I agree, the aggressive build here from BabyMarine didn't really work out and did not pay for itself in that last game. I'm hoping that we can just calm things down here and go back to basics as we're getting to game number 4.
And the going back to basics, in a pretty basic map, all things considered, or at least as basic as it gets in the current map pool, is Site Delta. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way. In the bottom right, we have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Italia. He is, of course, a free agent for the moment, one map away. Un momento, por favor. For qualifying, locking in his spot for tomorrow's close qualifiers, we have BabyMarine.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Hazard Esports. Putting a point on the board, he needs one more to force the ace match. It is Power.
We saw something a bit different from BabyMarine in each game. Things very different in each game here from Power. I'm very curious to see what he decides to go for in game number 4. Now, the standard play earlier on with the Stargate and with the Phoenixes worked out really well for him. I have to imagine he'd want to, you know, keep that going. It isn't broke yet, so he doesn't need to break it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what kind of opener we do invest in here, whether it is going to be the Stargate again, as you did mention, or a Twilight Council variation. I'm hoping that it is at least not another Robo opener. I feel like it's a very unique build, very niche, and you can whip that out like once in a series, but yeah, we don't want to rely too heavily on something like that.
You can whip it out once in the series, so might as well whip it out right off the gate. Come out of the gate swinging with it, you know?
Speaking of, we do see a cheeky SCV here. Do you have a bunker behind the middle line? A Reaper is going to be on the way, and Power does not have eyes on this.
This is odd to see here in 2024. So this was a lot more common a year or two ago.
Yeah, exactly. And because of that, the bunker is going to finish up. With the completion of this bunker, we can't deny mining time here at the natural. The Stalker has arrived, but the Reaper is going to be able to dive into that bunker.
It will give the Reaper extended range. The Reaper, of course, can just chill in the bunker while it regens health as well. It is only going to be a single Reaper here. There have been a few Terran players in the past who have tried to, you know, commit to Reapers and try to fill up that bunker, but BabyMarine, he knows that it's not worth it in the end. It's not really efficient. Denying this mining time is already going to be good enough for him.
Yeah, denying mining time with only a single Reaper, pretty well worth it so far. Shield Battery is now on the way, and eventually we're going to be able to mine once again. You can see so much less mine time already. Shield Battery is late for Power, and as a result, that Stalker is taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, this is some brilliant dodging coming out from BabyMarine as well. Most of the time, or usually, able to dive into the bunker before the projectile actually lands. The Reaper will be able to kill the Stalker. Won't be able to stay in the bunker anymore as it does die, but that's all it really wanted in the end.
Yeah, not a bad.
Wanted to kill its nemesis.
Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade whatsoever for that Reaper here, as we're going to be selling towards a longer game. It is going to be Blink. We do have one gateway in the main base, one gateway with the natural, so it's going to be 2-gate Blink into a third Nexus. So very economic build here from Power. BabyMarine, what do you have in store for us as we have opened up with a 1-1-1?
Yeah, gonna go for a pretty standard mine drop as well. But he has committed to continuing to build Marines from that reacted barracks. He is now opting for a Liberator as well as a tank. So BabyMarine, once again, is looking to play aggressive. Maybe not as committed or as aggressive as that previous game, but yeah, he still wants to be the player to take the initiative. We're going to have to wait and see, though, if he's going to be able to get much done with this. Again, Power, so far in the series, has displayed some fantastic defensive play.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fast tank production here out of BabyMarine. This will keep you safe against 4-gate Blink, for example. If it was more aggressive, we can see that, again, there's just a third base, so Power, he's working towards the mid-game. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, fast RTC. Very fast RTC here for the Terran player, so I do appreciate this, and he should be able to get away with it as Power is going for an economic build. BabyMarine doing something very similar himself.
Yeah, doing something similar, but while being active on the map as well, going for a little bit of a multi-prong as he chills out here in the middle of the map. Widow Mines will burrow. Won't get too much connections, but I say that as... okay. BabyMarine really wants one of his Widow Mines to connect with these probes. He is not satisfied with having to unburrow and pick up.
Yeah, exactly. So far, I mean, we do disrupt the build here of Power. We do keep him busy in the main base at least, but BabyMarine isn't able to get any massive connections, unfortunately for the Terran player here, as he at least still has that one Widow Mine in the corner of the map. He can always try to dive in and get another shot off.
Yeah, eventually in this game. I really like the bluff here from BabyMarine. When he moved out with his SCVs and one tank, especially since that's kind of what he did earlier in the series on Ghost River. I believe he was really bluffing Power and trying to say, hey, you should take this seriously, send all of your stalkers here, instead of having them back home to deal with a mine drop. Didn't quite work out for him, but I like that he went there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just trying to create an opportunity for himself. In the end, third CC is now being taken on location. The Observer was sniped, so Power's a little bit in the dark as to what's going on, and behind this he is getting into eventually Colossus production, Disruptors later on down the line, and a big gateway explosion for charge lots.
Yeah, just sticking to his bread and butter. Colossus Zealot has been a winning composition for him so far.
Yeah, he's been doing it decently for himself here, trying to get into this army composition, trying to get into the rest of his Colossi, but the harass just does not end. Liberator here in the main base does nice some mining.
Yeah, if only for a second. You could sense the frustration in your voice there, like, Liberators, they've killed one too many of your drones.
Yeah, and it's still alive. They're still threatening the bases here for Power, and he doesn't have anything to do with it yet. Do you see BabyMarine moving out? Oh, heading towards the third base, and where is the Colossus? Still halfway done. Even with one Colossus, it may not be enough to save the third.
Yeah, especially not, at least not if Power doesn't have enough of a buffer for it to keep it alive. Thermal Ant's still pretty far away. As Widow Mine will finally connect with more than one probe, 2 of them this time.
Gonna get 2 workers. The medevac does at least survive, the Widow Mine as well. And we do see BabyMarine sharking around here, trying to find a way in to threaten that third base. As BabyMarine, he's working on his own 4th behind this.
Yeah, he knows that he's not quite going to be able to break Power, but while he has map control, he might as well make use of it. So he's going to be throwing down that 4th and looking to overtake Power in the economy. He's already up on workers.
Ooh, and he is going for it, by the way. He's trying to find a way in, but so far Power, he's able to keep up with the movement of his opponents. Tank's just going to get baited out. Only 2 tanks with this main army. Good amount of Widow Mines, a good amount of EMPs are going to be available as well, but it's going to be a tough fight here for BabyMarine nonetheless.
Indeed, it is. Robo facility is super exposed, but here comes the Protoss assault. A couple of Widow Mines will not quite connect with the Hardy army. Ghost zoned away from being able to throw EMPs down on anything useful, really. BabyMarine going to be able to kite this back, but that's going to be the end of the push for now, at the very least.
Yeah, a solid clean up there from Power. As you did mention, our Terran player here just was out of position, was not there to support his tanks. The tanks went down with the death of those tanks. That is the death of the push. BabyMarine is forced back home. And Power, he's not looking in a bad position here, is now taking his 4th base. His 4th is a little bit late, I will say that, so Power is going to take a while to really build up supply-wise, but he's on the road.
Yeah, he's on the road. He just needs a car.
He needs a Colossus.
Yeah. A vehicle of some kind to take him to the end. To the end of the road, to his destination. There we go.
And yeah, he does have those 2 Colossi, is moving out. I'm not so sure about this just because Disruptors are on the way, and we just now have 1 Disruptor. It'd be nice if we waited for it before we did move out, but we do see BabyMarine just trying to get eyes on where the army exactly is. Does end up coming across this new fresh base.
Yeah, we'll confirm the 4th. Will get chased away. Actually able to take out 2 probes, so not too bad for him, but yeah, the main thing here is that BabyMarine does have confirmation of the 4th. I do like this from Power, just keep it staying on the map. Like you said, he doesn't quite have the Disruptor just yet, so it was going to be very risky for him at any point. If BabyMarine caught eyes on that, he could try to go for a surround, but yeah, there's no reason for BabyMarine to be suspicious, so for Power, you might as well just keep your army in a place where BabyMarine wouldn't quite expect, wouldn't be able to scan, wouldn't be able to confirm. That's your army composition, yada, and so forth.
Yeah, and we are getting to a decent Disruptor count. This should typically force out Liberators, and we do have the Fusion going the way. That's going to be for Liberator range. Additional Starports are finishing up as well, but we need a little bit more time to really dive into that. We do see BabyMarine maybe over-investing into these Vikings. I'm going to say that, how many Vikings? 9 Vikings in total. It's going to be pretty good here for these 2 Colossi, as neither army really wants to clash yet.
Yeah, both of them just kind of staying their hand. They both know that whoever takes the initiative here will be the one to suffer heavier losses. Both of them do have pretty sophisticated long-range armies that they're working with.
Oh.
EMP gets thrown down. 1 Colossus will not quite go down. Purification Nova is going to be zoning away the main army. The Warpism does die to the Vikings, though. There we go. The Colossus finally goes down.
Yeah, we got a Colossus, we got a we got a War Prism as well, so not bad moves here out of BabyMarine, able to make the best out of a bad, or out of just what few units he has. The Vikings, they pop off. And now we see BabyMarine trying to outposition his opponent here, trying to catch out this army.
A couple good EMPs, but unfortunately, BabyMarine EMP'd the Protoss army within range of shield batteries. A little bit of a outrun by trying to get things done. Poor Disruptor. Rallied into a whole bunch of Marauders into its death, really. BabyMarine about to get sandwiched here, but it looks like the meat... Ooh, I was going to say the meat of BabyMarine's army is a little bit too thick for this Protoss bread, but very, very key snipes with those Purification Novas. Takes out the Ghost, does allow the rest of the army to crumple.
Yeah, exactly. The bread just a little bit too thick here, a little bit too good, as Power is going to be able to clean this up, able to shut this down. A couple of Medivacs will escape, but the main army has been dealt with, and now we're setting up for a big counterattack. BabyMarine, he did reset the Colossus count, that is true. He killed a lot of those Disruptors as well, but 3 Disruptors still do remain.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities going on with 3 Disruptors. A lot of kiting potential until eventually you have no room to kite anymore, so...
Yeah,
or zoning potential until eventually you have no room to kite back from.
And Liberation has arrived, and that's quite a lot of Liberators here for our Terran player. It is going to be 9 libs in total.
That's quite a lot, and they do have range on them as well. Gotta be honest, Light, I did not even notice that extended range got nerfed.
Oh, it did end up getting nerfed here, and that is going to be impacting the army quality here of power. But more disruptors are on the way. Liberation zones have been set up, and pushing into this freedom zones, I don't see it happening here. Not anytime soon, not yet. And BabyMarine, he's holding.
He is holding steady on 5 bases compared to the also 5 of power. About to be 6 from power though.
Yes, he is going to be expanding here towards the top right. At the same time, he is pushing in, but at last, Liberation Zones do siege up just in time.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the zoning potential of Purification Novas, but the zoning potential of, you know, actual freedom zones is a little bit higher.
As we do snipe one of those disruptors here. We do have 3 more disruptors of the main army. Nova does go off. We have 2 Novas left.
Which is not a whole lot when you're up against an army that has 8 liberators. BabyMarine scans. He sees a bit of an opening. He is on the ramp, on top of the ramp, and he really wants to fight this army. He knows he can take a hit-on engagement. He just needs to nail his EMPs.
Oh, that's
a little bit of sandwich here. Yeah, but the Terran bread, not quite thick enough for the Protoss meat, for the Protoss filling.
Sounds like someone's hungry. Would you have a good chunk of Marauders going down to the right-hand side? Power trying to make his way through towards that natural base for the freedom, though it has arrived.
Ooh. Yeah, potentially a bit of a misguided blink up on top of this ramp. All of the disruptors go down. 2 more coming in to reinforce, but they are uber exposed. One of them immediately goes down. And there's just not a whole lot left here for this Protoss army as more infantry starts to reinforce this for BabyMarine. A lot of probes went down across the map as well. To something.
Yeah.
Nuke is what it was.
Yeah, it looks like there was potentially here as workers were going down. This one ghost going ham here towards the top right. And more importantly, we were able to sandwich the army. BabyMarine just luring the army in, was able to reset that disruptor count, cleans up most of the army. And suddenly, in a twist of fate, BabyMarine takes a supply lead.
Yeah. You thought the bread wasn't thick enough, but there was 2.
Yeah, 2 slices.
Slices of bread.
Those who don't know, Yaku did order food before the cast, and there's that nuke going to be on the way. Did you end up eating yet, or is it here?
I did not. I think it arrived like an hour or 2 ago.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't brought it in. My neighbors might have stolen it.
Oh no. We'll get an update soon, TM, as here we go. Liberation zones have been thrown down. Nova's going to be going off. Barely grazing the army as we are on the hunt. We are getting back into Colossus production. Just quickly checking our army composition. The Viking count was reset, but there's still no good answer for these libs.
Yeah, there really isn't. Most of the stalkers from earlier were taken out. Disruptors being sniped before Purification Novas can really finish and connect. And now power is starting to get backed into a corner.
Yeah, exactly. No more disruptors, no more Purification Novas here, as it looks like we're snowballing out of control. The freedom is a bit too much, and BabyMarine, I mean, it was so good here of power to force an extended series here, to force more of a back and forth, and he was holding his own. He was even ahead at times here in this game, but BabyMarine has a solid lead, and he's not looking to let it go. Not easily, not anytime soon.
Not at all. By the looks of things, you know, power's still expanding, still trying to gather enough of an economy to sustain enough production to get a larger army. But his back is against the wall. BabyMarine is breathing down his neck. He's gonna get nuked again. They're gonna keep most of his probes alive this time.
Yeah, it does react, does pull back. At the same time, BabyMarine, he catches a Colossus as well. And power, he's out of position. He's coming in from behind. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, we are going to be able to siege up and take control of this third.
Huge EMPs landing on just about the entirety of the Stalker army. Stalkers fall, and it's nothing to deal with the Liberators. Liberators stay alive, hence the Marauders stay alive. Colossus get stimmed on, get taken out.
Yeah, they do go down. Reinforcements have arrived as well. You thought you had enough freedom. We have so much more in the back line. GG gets called. and BabyMarine will qualify for the EPT Spring European Closed Qualifier.
GG. Nicely done by BabyMarine. He's so solid throughout the entire evening. He had the instincts, he had the killer instinct, I should say. He knew how to find opportunities, how to make opportunities, and when it came down to it, how to hold on to his... Well, I guess holding on to an opportunity doesn't make a lot of sense. Holding on to his advantages is what I will say. This was, just overall very nicely done here from BabyMarine.
It really was nicely done, and congratulations, BabyMarine. It was not an easy run either. You know, Power as well as Cuckoo, they did make him bleed a little bit there, and even Replicant, you know, he was able to have a good showing as well against BabyMarine. But in the end, BabyMarine, he was able to snowball out of control, did take the win here in the end, and will be joining some of our other players as qualified players into the closed qualifier.
Indeed, as a lot of our qualifying matches have wrapped up. Looks like Spazzy Mazzy and Zhuge Liang went 3-2, which is, I would have expected nothing less from the both of them. But Spazzy Mazzy did come out on top, will be qualifying. We will be seeing him tomorrow in those closed qualifiers. Meanwhile, Bonan 3-0'd Trifax here. Bonan, who took out Sunset 2-1. And then proceeded to take out Trifax 3-0. Will be advancing forward. We also have Deka taking out Larabaz 3-0. So that's another bit of a fresh face, bit of a lesser known player, I think. Going to be advancing, and we're going to be seeing more of tomorrow. Art taking out Hino 3-1. We'll be moving on forward. Rom taking out Snockstar 3-0. Will also be qualifying, and it looks like there are 2 more matches that are still underway right now. It is Exo Striker versus Sebedez, I think that's how it's pronounced, and Shameless versus Salamander in that final qualifying match.
That's a big result, mates, as you just glossed over it, but Salamander took down Zane 2-1. Remember, we did favor Zane in that series, but alas, he was brought low. Salamander, not a player we see too often, not a player that we've ever featured on this channel, but has taken down Zane. That's a nice result. That's a big win for Salamander.
Without a doubt. Something's in the air tonight, Light. A lot of fresher faces doing very, very well, and I absolutely wish them the best tomorrow, and ideally, in the regional, and ideally, onwards to Dallas as well. We're gonna be... Oh no, my hat's far away. I'm not gonna go get it now.
It's all good.
Gonna be yeehawing our way in the summer.
There we go. So, yeah, I do wish them the best of luck. As you mentioned, there are still 2 matches that are ongoing, but they're mid-series, so we will most likely be wrapping up here, allowing those series to conclude, and I'm hoping that there is some coverage. I'm sure there is. Plenty of other language streams are currently ongoing, so hopefully there is someone casting that over on Twitch. Otherwise, another big result, of course, is Rom 3-0ing Snockstar. I would have favored Snockstar a little bit there, so that's a big win from Rom getting the 3-0, so very well done. Congratulations. Likewise, Bonan, a much more unknown player. Yeah, Bonan to take down Trifax. That's, I would say, I would call that an upset. That's
3-0 as well. Absolutely, yeah.
Big win.
Yeah, like taking out Snockstar is one thing, or rather taking out Trifax is one thing, but taking him out in a clean sweep, that's not at all what I think any of us expected. Least of all us here in the CranKy Ducklings. We've been able to watch and follow a lot of these I almost said Protoss players, Polish players, in the past couple of years through Espot, and H4OS, you know, all the Polish lands that have been coming down. Yeah, we really had a lot of expectations coming down from them. So, yeah, to see other players come in and have such a solid showing against them, I mean, it excites me quite a bit. It also looks like we have another series just wrapping up here. Shameless has taken out Salamander 3-0. So he is going to be our 15th qualified player. The only match remaining is now Exo Striker versus Sebedez.
Oh, exactly. So we have that one series left. Again, Shameless was going to be coming in as a favorite player. And congratulations here to him, as he's going to be able to make his way through and make it into the closed qualifiers. As you said, just the one series left. Otherwise, we are done. We are done here for the night. We're done here for now. I'm going to be taking a short break, quickly just double checking when the Americas qualifiers do begin. As double
like
checking.
2 hours.
Yeah, in 2 hours time we have the Americas qualifier. And it's tempting. It's very tempting to try to stay up for it. I was unable to yesterday, so we'll see. I'm gonna try and take a power nap here. If I wake up in time, I'll be going over the Americas qualifier. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll try and make that trek happen.
We shall see.
Definitely. Otherwise, thank you so much, Yaku, for joining me today. I do appreciate it so much. Gracias, papi, gracias. I know we don't get to cast too often anymore. I know you've been quite busy as of late, and has been, other things have been going on in your life as well. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Do appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great to be here. I wasn't gonna sleep anyway, so.
Yes. I don't want to keep you much longer here, so you can get your food and hunt it down and make sure your neighbors didn't steal it. Otherwise, thank you so much everyone else for watching as well. As a reminder, we might be live in 2 hours for ESL Americas, for the Americas qualifier. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow for the closed qualifiers of all these regionals. Again, I'm still recovering. I was coughing like the entire time, and I'm still a little bit unwell, still a little bit sick, but I will try to get better as quickly as I can. I'll do my best.
In 2 hours.
Yeah.
Solve a cold.
Exactly.
It's all the time you need, yeah.
Otherwise, if you want to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We are live almost typically on a daily basis. Again, I've been a little bit under the weather as of late, so our streams have been a little bit inconsistent, but we do our best. And again, once I'm up and running, once I'm at 100%, gonna be back to those daily casts every single day, multiple times a day as well. It's coming eventually.
We gotta maintain that always live record.
Exactly. We have a reputation. We have to maintain it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Probably. I can't think of anything to say though.
It's all good.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Get that bread, get that sandwich, fill it with the meat. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.